coming from London, I'd already had a career, started off in London. People knew me in a certain space, but coming here, one, it was just like people were just completely beside with the accent and all of the Londonism that I brought. But I'm not even looking at that. I'm just like, I'm looking at them in the same way, like, oh my goodness, say words, say things. This is so sexy. Oh, shit.
Oh, you think the American accent is sexy?
Yeah, it's all of them. There's so many.
No. You don't think
many.
all American accents are sexy?
That you can find it.
Because some are very ugly.
You can find it. No.
Wait, what are the American accents that you think are sexy?
New Orleans.
Okay. The way that black people in New Orleans talk, for sure.
Dear Lord.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't understand them.
That's fine. They sound like they're singing.
They sound like, it sounds like a trumpet.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just does this. And it's like,
they have their own slang.
They do. You cannot be a meanie. If someone in New Orleans stops and says hi to you, you have to say hi and be like, okay.
The Touré show. Okay, though. The Touré show. Okay, though.
That might be the best question I've ever been asked.
You're a phenomenal person. I mean, you legendary.
I am a fan of you, my brother.
Estelle is a wonderful person with a gorgeous voice. Perhaps you remember American Boy. I was so excited to have her on the show and to talk about singing. But what I really also want to know, would she make a song with Kanye now? We get into that and her whole history as a singer. It's Estelle on Touré Show. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How you feeling?
Welcome.
Thank you.
You have such a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Tell me about learning that, like, oh, wow, like I can really sing. Like, when was that? Like teenage years?
Nope. That was maybe when I was 38.
What? No, it's not.
Real
No,
talk.
it's not.
Backstory. No, real talk. I never thought I was a singer.
What did you think you were?
I just thought I had a distinctive voice, right?
Okay.
I just knew that my voice sounded different talking. And various people along the way were like, just sing. Just sing. Like, you can, John was like, just sing. You can sing. I would go into sessions and be rapping because I started as a rapper.
Can you rap?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I did.
Give me a rhyme.
Come on. It was so long ago.
You're a rapper. You gotta be able to spit.
So long ago.
Just give me a little spit.
No. It was so long ago, 1980, year that God made me. But I did. I sang, like, I sing on all my hooks. And my very first song was 1980. And people were, I don't think they took it serious as being a singer because all the talk was centralized on me being a rapper. And I was kind of like, all right, yeah, well, you know, I know I sing, I don't care. You know, I know how to do all the harmonies and I have to do all the things, I'm good. And as I kept going along, I never put too much thought behind it. I just did what I did. I learned what I learned. I practiced with who I love to sing with, which would be like Ella Fitzgerald and people like that. It would facilitate between like Mary J. Blige and Ella Fitzgerald practicing.
You're at home listening to them and
practicing
and doing like following them.
Yeah.
So that's how you practice? With Ella, with Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
Who else?
I was at church as a kid too, so I learned that. I learned how to sing harmony and, you know, Blackstreet Boys. Every male group, every female group. Like I listened and I learned. It wasn't about going to a school per se or nothing. Right. It's just life experience. So, but I mean, it took me till 38 to really be like, oh, okay. I had a conversation with my mom. I was going through my renewal, my reawakening. And I was like, I remember when I was 12 and I had a scenario where I had cried because I was singing, singing for the blood of Jesus in the back of us in a toilet in one of our bathrooms, I should say. And my mom and auntie were laughing like, why are you screaming in there, right? And so to me, it wasn't a thought that I sounded good or I was trying. And I realized that like 38, doing all my therapy and doing all my things, that kind of stunted my sense of whether I believed I was good or not. And had a conversation with my mom. My mom was like, I just always thought you knew you sounded good. And I was just like, what? Well.
Wait, American...
So that was me? Like,
so wait, American Boy, you're 24.
28.
28. 28. It's 10 years before you are admitting to me or yourself that you're great. But I mean, like...
I mean, it's a difference between I believe I can sing and I know I can do this. I know how to do that. I think when you say believe you can sing, to me, I don't sound like what you think the singers are supposed to sound like.
Do you like American Boy?
Yeah.
Do you think she's doing a great job?
I think she's doing a great. I think she did awesome back then, and I think she's doing a great job now.
For sure. For sure.
I love it.
When did you first start thinking about, I'm actually... Well, let's to take it down. When did you start thinking you're good at singing and rapping? Like enough to be like, that's what I want to do.
That's it. Oh, well, I knew I was good enough. I believed I had something when I was like 17.
Okay.
I feel like I started off. I started off as a rapper because I worked in a record shop, and it wasn't hard to rap to me. I knew English really well. Like it was my favorite subject. I would write all the time, write poems, write books, write rhymes all the time. And I think there's this guy called Fallacy, who heard me like spitting one of my rhymes, like, no, listen, and he was like, you're actually good, like you should keep doing it. And that put a battery in my back because it was like one of the main rappers at home. And I just kept going. And every time I showed up, it was just like, yo, but where did you come from and why are you so good? And I was just like, well, because I don't know, it's talent, it is what it is. But I just kept going at it. I just kept trying to be better and better and better. And then, I mean, look, I look at my life like, couldn't make this up. There's people I met when I was like 18 and 19 that are superstars and legends and icons in the culture now who I shouldn't even know, you know? But they were at their height. And I mean, I toured and did shows with Chuck D and Flavor Flav and Public Enemy as a child, as an 18, you know, as a 20-year-old. I knew Mos Def and Kweli when I was like 18 and 19. Like I'd been in and amongst those folks before, 10 years before you knew who I was with American Boy. So there's a certain level that I would hold myself to. Because you know, if you're not around being of for a good reason, like what are we doing here?
But okay, help me understand something, because I'm gonna be real American now.
Okay. Okay.
Because you're from and living in two different worlds as far as British hip hop and British soul music.
Yeah, for sure.
And British soul music has had a gigantic impact on America, right? Yeah. And is super beloved and important in America as well. Yep. British hip hop is not.
It's frustrating.
The same.
It's frustrating.
I feel, and it's not like it's just British soul, because British rock and roll is obviously incredibly important in American music history.
Yeah.
What's going on with British hip hop that it's not I would think there would be more people who were from England, London, who were like having an impact on the American scene, but there's a couple, but not really.
I don't know. I think, so to me, this is what I observed and it's weird because it feels like I came here yesterday, right? But also I was part of the scene that the Americans just don't know about. There is and was a whole purely hip hop, not hip hop with garage and grime and all of that it's become, but there was a whole scene of like Black Twang, Rodney P, like so many hip hop artists from the UK that I don't know whether it was because the accent was different or we were very hell-bent on rapping in our accents.
But we don't mind when you sing it.
Okay. We don't mind singing. It's just very odd. But, you know, and I think it's a testament to the industry at that time too. You know, like the way things were and what was people willing to like hang a hat on and be like, that's a star.
Is there somebody you look back on who you and other British MCs were like, oh, well,
they did it?
If he's gonna make it. And then like, he didn't make it? Like, how could he have, or she, how could they have not made it?
I don't know.
Like, we thought, like, if anyone's gonna blow.
In the UK? Rappers in the UK?
From the UK, I mean, you know, I said I'm being very American.
Yeah.
You might blow up in England, but really you want to blow up in America.
There were a couple, but I always look at things like everybody's on their journey, right? And everybody plays a real part. For instance, like, I came here and everyone thought I was going to rap when I came because they knew me in London as a rapper. And I think after a while, people were like, we're just happy to see one of us go and I appreciated all the support and love because it was hard fought. you know?
Yeah.
For someone that looked like me, that felt like me, that is me, to come here and have a record like American Boy and still, to a degree, represent like a rapper whenever you saw me. London, I don't think people at home felt like they lost anything.
What do you mean look like me? You're
Like,
beautiful.
look like me,
what
like-
are you talking
no,
about?
as in-
You're
as- okay.
so easy on the eyes. What are you
Thank
talking
you.
about?
Well, at the time, it was, look, in 2008, 2007, 2006, 2005, it was ever ago. It's really not that far away.
It's just 2 decades.
It's 2 decades. Yeah. But at that time, like, we didn't look, there was no brown girls going to rap in America. Like, it didn't look like us, you know, particularly not from the UK. You know, there was a lot of, it just wasn't that. And I never saw that as a thing to stop me. So I think there was a lot of support for the fact that I wasn't aware, or if I saw it, I didn't care about it, and I was just going to do what I was going to do. And I didn't forget people. You know, I didn't come over here and not shout out whoever's shoulders I was standing on. And I still, to this day, do it. You know?
Can you, if you were from New York or LA, we could say, this out of New York and LA made me who I am as a musician. So what is that for you with London?
Ooh. The thing that made me the musician I am from London is I was exposed to so much different kinds of music, so many different genres. I didn't look at it like I only listen to this, or this is where I stand. When you see me pull up, this is it. Like, I'm gonna listen to Oasis and Radiohead as much as I'm gonna listen to Yaz and Big Daddy Kane. And just as long as it was good, that was our motto in our house. Like, we grew up on Dennis Brown. We grew up on, you know, like everything, you know, like all of the genres. The rule in our house was, as long as it's good, we can play it. If it's rubbish, we're not playing it. And the rubbish for us was like not good lyrics, you know, like the beat doesn't really do much. And my mom was that person, gospel to whatever, gospel to jazz to whatever.
Like the Beatles?
Yeah, she liked the Beatles, all of it. Like, which was
The Rolling Stones?
all of it.
Okay.
Fully in it. And that was our barometer. That's always been my thing. So that's what makes me who I am. And that's the thing I think with a lot of British artists. We're different in the way that we absorb and put right back out without thinking about it, whether lyrically, whether musically, whether stylistically, all the genres. Like, there's no, you know.
But you weren't listening to popular music at home?
Oh, I wasn't allowed to listen to a lot of it at the beginning. So I'll say my mom was like in it, but like, I think between the ages of maybe like 10 to like 13, we became really religious.
What religion?
Like Church of God of Prophecy, Pentecostal, like Holy Ghost.
But great music.
Great music. And I learned that entire discipline. I was just like, I felt it, you know? And yeah, she was really focused about that for a long while.
So
and
no popular music for a couple of years?
3 years. But, you know, we sneak, went to school. And I listened to all of it. I was in it.
When you're sneaking, what are you sneaking?
All right. So yeah, this is the part where it's like, this is why I'm the slight weirdo. Not slight. Actually, let me rephrase that. I'm not the weirdo. I would listen to Ella Fitzgerald.
Okay.
She's one of the greatest singers that ever lived. And
For sure.
If I could sound like that for fun, I probably wouldn't play another album. just for what? Because I done it. Ella, it's me. I would listen to her. I listen to all of the R&B greats. Like, you go all SWV all the way over to Blackstreet, even the ones in between. I'm listening to all of the funk in the 80s that you could think of, because my auntie was a big Alexander O'Neal fan.
Ooh.
And so it was all of that in her house, Stevie Wonder, all of that over there. And you move around different, we parent as a community in ours. So I'm moving around, and like, I could really go over there and hear Stevie Wonder one day and come back home and it's like, in the blood of Jesus.
And
like
is there a Senegalese influence in all this?
Pride, yeah, for sure.
What's that?
Listening to like Youssou N'Dour as a mainstay. Like, there were certain African artists that would come out throughout my life, and my mom was very adamant that we knew them.
And they were?
And Youssou N'Dour is one. Pepe Kale's from like, I think he's from Congo.
Fela.
Pepe Kale.
No, I mean, but also
Fela as well.
Fela,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Right.
Yeah. And those were like family gatherings.
Who
Those
else?
are bass lines. I just did not a song with her. I just interviewed her. I have her face in my name. I'm sorry, this isn't you. She's doing things now. Oh, yeah. What's her name? Angelique Kidjo. That's it. Angelique Kidjo. She's another one. And it was more because of the pride of them. You know, like Africans, we're here. And no matter what happens there, you know who your root is. You know where you are. That's who we are, you know? So Mama would have those playing all along my childhood, just all throughout my life.
Yeah. American Boy. Why is this song so great? What are you doing right? Because it's an earworm.
Having fun.
Right? And she's in there. When I think the high notes are really sugary, like candy. Yeah. Like I want to hear like that high part of the chorus is what I want. And I don't even plug into what she's saying. I'm like, oh wow, it's so nice that she's up there. It just feels so nice.
I like that you call her she. I love it. Oh, it's just fun and joy. Honestly, every single song that's like hit a moment with people has been because I've been joyful.
Did you do that one at night?
Say that one more time.
Did you record it at night?
Middle of the day.
Yeah.
I was having a ball. I was really like, literally in Miami, looking at boys on the beach. It's a running joke that I wrote them about keeping boys because I did. I was like, this is glorious. We don't have men like this at home in London. This is a good day.
So
I was having a time. Like,
Miami Beach, looking at boys, jump in the studio.
John Legend was like, what have you been doing while you've been out here? We're out there for a session to do this session with Will I Am. And I'm here like, I'm at the beach. Like, while you're in between doing your work, I'm at the beach, turn up. And he's like, what you been doing? I was like, I've been at the beach. Looking at all these boys, it's been great. Like, and he's like, oh my God, what did I do? And I was like, no, we good. And he was like, tell me about it. Like, so we started doing it. He's like, that's what we should write about. And then he went in and put some words down. I wrote some melody. We did it together. And then, yeah.
So we're hearing this sort of pure feminine excitement about these pretty American boys who we don't see them.
Just there.
Right? At home, right? Like, wow, he's cute. He's cute, right? Like, was there one in particular you were thinking about?
No, there were several. It was just, I was 20. Like, what do you do? It's 20, your mid-20s in Miami on the beach. Like, it was a wonderful time.
Were you just watching or were you actually talking to people?
I was talking to some. I was having a ball.
Were you just talking or you having a ball?
No, I was talking. I was having a ball. I was talking.
Okay.
It's just like, it was a different world. Like, and you have to, like, my whole thing was coming from London. I'd already had a career, started off in London. People knew me in a certain space, but coming here, one, it was just like, people were just completely besotted with the accent and all of the Londonism that I brought. But I'm not even looking at that. I'm just like, I'm looking at them in the same way, like, oh my goodness, say words, say things. This is so sexy. Oh, shit.
Oh, you think the American accent is sexy?
Yeah, all of them. There's so many.
No. You don't think
many.
all American accents are sexy?
That you can find it.
Because some are
You
very
can find
ugly.
it. You can find it. No.
Wait, what are the American accents that you think are sexy?
New Orleans.
Okay. The way that black people in New Orleans talk, for sure.
Dear Lord.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't understand them.
That's fine. They sound like they singing.
They sound like, yes, it sounds like a trumpet.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just does this. And it's like,
they have their own slang.
They do. You cannot be a meanie. If someone in New Orleans stops and says hi to you, you have to say hi and be like, okay, I don't know you.
You like the New York accent?
I do.
Really?
It's great. It's just so like, wop. It's great. I love it. I'm like,
do I sound like a New Yorker to you?
I don't know. But you have an interesting accent.
Okay.
You do.
I don't know that, I wouldn't everybody say I don't have an accent.
You do. You for sure do. You really do.
Wow.
I love the way the cadence of your speaking though. It's definitely, I like it. It's clear, it's precise,
But LA has a sound.
Yeah, LA is mixed.
Oh, she does not love the LA sound.
It's not as if it's
the enthusiasm went right to LA.
Okay, real LA like real LA, like south of the 10 LA, like black LA, they got a sound and a twang that I think is beautiful too.
Do you like DC?
I do, but DC sound a little bit like New York to me.
Really?
They swing a little bit.
It's a little more
Yeah.
of a southern
Yeah.
to them because they're a little closer to the South culturally
right.
in a lot of ways.
You might be
Because a lot of them,
Yeah.
people move up.
Yeah.
Nowadays, sometimes people move down to Atlanta, but people move up. So
they
your
tend to.
grandparents lived in the South, and then maybe you went to DC, and then
Yeah.
maybe you went to New York, or you went from the South to New York. And,
Yeah. Migration. The migration.
Wow. Wait, so made this great record with Kanye.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually interesting that you're on there with a person who was then a superstar, and you're trying to introduce yourself. But the
Yeah.
first, half of the record is all you. We got to get through a lot of you to get to the Kanye,
Yeah.
which normally, the superstar would go first.
Yeah. Well, he's on the beginning of the record. He's like on the intro.
Yeah, but just like a little spice, and then we get like
Yeah, but that's how records go. So remember, I started as a rapper.
yeah.
Like my arrangements of songs in my head go like that. Like you put the rapper at the beginning,
Right.
you do the record, you have the rap in the middle,
Right.
maybe a bridge if there's space,
Right.
and then you end the record.
Right.
It's traditional to me.
Right.
So it wasn't weird to have him like do a little piece and then yep, and then bop. Yeah.
I think about songs where it's this attempt to introduce somebody.
Yeah.
And the star goes,
Yeah.
and then so it's like I gave you my cosign. Look at her,
Yeah.
right? And then and then she goes.
Yeah. Well, the difference is that he wasn't introducing me per se. I mentioned and this is the part that I always want to tell people. I'm like, I was here for a while before American Boy came out. The rest of the world knew me.
Yeah.
We just didn't do a good job of marketing my first
Was it
album. in America.
weird to be like, oh, I am successful and respected in England, and y'all don't know yet? That was
No, because look, I think everything has a path and a journey. Like at the time, I was just like, I'm gonna have to just go and do this from the ground up, and that's fine. And that's why I moved. To be fair, because I realized that America is vast. Like there are people who have regional hits that the rest of the Americas don't know. So who do I think I am? Coming from a whole nother country, I had to get real humble, or start this off humbly and get to work, and I did. So when people are talking about it as though, I'm like, I touched every single state, every single radio station, whether they played our music or not. I touched them. I went and said hi. I spoke to every programmer I could. The team had me working.
shaking hands,
Kissing babies. It was a presidential campaign. That's what I had been told. They were like, yeah, I didn't sleep for the entire time you saw it working and building and moving. So when people will talk about the amount of work or, it should just be online and it should just go, I'm like,
No.
oh, I haven't slept for 15, 16, longer than that,
Yeah.
many years.
Yeah.
I hadn't slept until the Panini.
To the panini.
Until 2019, it was like,
Wait, would you make a record with Kanye now?
not the person he is now. I don't think we have too much in common. Yeah. I made that at 28 and we were all seeing eye to eye. The energy was right. It was not right, but the energy was in sync. And I don't think we're in the same space right now.
Were you in the same room when you made the record?
I know. So I was in the same room when he put his verse down.
You were there when he put his
Yeah, he come
But
from...
you'd already done your verse.
I'd done the whole song.
Yeah.
And the idea was like, how can we superpower this? Like, they were like, this is already fire. This is going to be a record.
Did you encourage or direct? Like, can you talk about this? You can go in this direction?
Yeah, he asked me questions. He was like, what's the drink you guys drink? I was like, I'm not an alcohol girl. Ribena. Because, look, I'm truthful, if nothing else, on records. I'd speak my mind. I don't, I didn't drink a lot of alcohol at that point. I wasn't really the vodka girl or the champagne girl. I'm a champagne girl now. But, growth. But I was like, I drink a lot of Ribena. That's our national drink in London. So he was like, that's the blackcurrant thing. And I was just like, yeah, you know it. He'd just come back. So it was fresh in his mind.
Yeah.
And that was literally it. My friends were like, you got him to say Ribena on the record. I said, do we not all drink Ribena? Guys, it's Ribena. Vibes. They appreciate that. Ribena did too.
But you are different now.
Yeah. Gross, man.
I mean,
adults.
yes, growth, but I'm really talking about, he said all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know, the music is whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, anti-Semitic shit, Hitler shit.
So
and,
much shit.
And like, does that make you go, yeah, I'm good, I'm not fucking with you right now?
Yeah, I mean, look, I always want to know people's journeys. I know my journey, and it's nowhere near hate.
Right.
So that's my part of it. You know, I stay away from anything that runs in the space of like just anti or hate or just I prefer to move in love. And that doesn't feel like love, so it's nothing to do with me really.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great song, it's a great moment, you know?
Yeah.
And we have more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Soul to Soul was important to your development.
Yeah.
I loved Soul to Soul, the first and the second album. Especially that first album, it meant so much.
When I tell you, I was a child when they came out.
Yeah.
But again, seeing this black lady on the screen, and my parents at the time had dreads.
Oh.
Right? So seeing these people that look like our family members, like swinging their dreads, going for it, right? And then I met her when I moved to New York. I met Karen Wheeler when I moved to New York. She was at Joe's Pub just hanging out.
Joe's Pub.
And my whole life was just, I wish I had my old phone. I may have fangirled out. Like, it's imagine being like 8 and 9 and seeing this person. And this was the only black representation to a degree for black R&B music at the time.
And those records sounded so different than everything else that was going around. And even when the first album came out, I think I was a teenager, hadn't been to any clubs. And I felt like this is what it's like to be in a club. The way this record is feeling right now. I mean, I don't even know but it was like, this is so deep.
Like, Jazzy B isn't giving them enough credit.
No.
Like, their whole outfit isn't giving enough credit for... I don't give them enough credit. I ought to give them more credit.
And his voice.
Just... And that's the part, because in my head, I'm saying they're going distinctive voices. Like,
Yes.
now you're putting 2 and 3 together for me right now. Distinctive voices, people with a voice that you recognize. That's been my thing. Yeah.
And you talk about India Davenport, Brand New Heavies. She would not remember this. She wouldn't even know what happened. She was the first person who showed me marijuana.
Showed you marijuana?
Yes.
She's like, this is weed?
Well, no.
How did that go?
I was in college.
Yeah.
I was a sophomore
Right.
or a junior, somewhere in there. For some reason, because I was running a newspaper at school, and so for some reason I must have been like, well, he's media, so I got to go. It was the first time I went backstage for an artist, especially an artist that I liked.
Yeah.
And I remember there was just like a party going on, and the way they were consuming the weed was there was a sort of glass sort of
A vase.
it's like thing, like a big glass thing.
It's a mega bong?
Well, kind of, but you kind of lift up part of it and like suck from under it. And because of the whole contraption aspect, I was like, oh, they're doing heavy shit in there.
She said,
oh, I should leave because heavy rock and roll shit is happening there. And in red, like, you're a fucking idiot.
No,
like, they're smoking a little weed. Like,
you said you were young. Like,
I was young and dumb. Oh my God. But and she was there. I was like, oh my God, India Davenport is here. Oh my God, I love her. Like,
my whole life, and this is one thing I realize I do to keep myself grounded. I give props to the OGs. Like, and I never worry about feeling weird whenever I see them outside. Like, I'll walk up on them and be like, you can act like you ain't nobody in this room, or you can be real quiet right now, but hi, I just want to give you your
but they know who you are, and they appreciate that.
But whether they do or not, they don't understand. I'm able to be because they exist.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I don't care. Like, mentally it keeps me grounded, but also, I'm going to shout, like, do you understand that I was 7 or 8 doing a whoop in my living room?
Yeah.
I'm a grown 44. Like, do you understand? And these people, they're still here. Like, I'm going to give you your props. I'm going to let you know how you changed my life. Yeah. You know, like, if I didn't see that, I couldn't see myself doing this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
who else did you need to see to visualize it?
I needed to see Moni Love.
Yeah.
I needed to see her do her thing. I love her. I think she's great. I just
and Moni was always like one of the boys.
That was my original thing.
Right? She's girly, but she's hanging out with the boys at De La Soul or whatever, and you're like, she's the girl who can hang out with the boys.
Yeah.
And
it was often that way. It was just the one girl, right?
Yeah.
It was like one girl in the crew.
Yeah.
I needed to see, to your point, De La Soul. I did a record with them before Dave passed. Like, again, it's like so many things, and I'm writing a book. It's gonna come, but there are so many moments where I've met my heroes. I've met people who, if they didn't exist, I wouldn't be here. Yeah. And I don't take that for granted. I don't take that lightly. I'm just grateful.
So maybe we could argue a little bit.
Go ahead.
Because you also have Jamiroquai on that list.
Yeah.
What?
You don't like it?
What? What?
All right. It's debatable because of this. I understand. Like,
it's
okay,
a controversial issue in America.
Tell me why.
I mean,
tell me.
Some people, myself included, found a lot of that music corny. Okay. There's definitely people who I talked to from that era who are like, no, you're wrong. Like brilliant musical people. No, you're wrong. Jamiroquai was the shit.
Why was he corny to you? Did he resemble anybody? Was it like, oh, he sounded like he's ripping off, or is it just like,
No, I don't think it was that. I don't know. I never felt the authentic soul of the music. I felt like he's trying to be something, and there's the hat, and there's the weirdo-ness, and I don't know. None of those records ever hit me, and it was like I'm looking at other people like, oh wow, that hit you, and you fuck with your. So I bring it up because some people would be like, yeah, she's right, and some people would be like, what is she talking about?
Why is she going over there?
But you rep for. So please
I do,
educate.
Man. Look, it's the you have to put it in context. I'm in London. We haven't seen that look or that sound. Seen that sound of singing on mainstream TV, right? You could go to any club and see a black artist, a white artist doing that style of singing. So he was like the only one that kind of got to push through and do jazz, funk, soul in his way. I know. I understand. Do his version of it in his way. I'm gonna say his version
you're
of
getting
it.
That to this is why people go to therapy, because talking it out gets you to. And when I see white people doing black music like that, and it gets my back up. Yeah. Right. I'm immediately like, you gotta prove it double, because I want to brick you.
That's the thing for me. It's like I think he did a good job of proving it, because he's one of the singers, though, that would actually sound like the record to me when I seen him do it. And that's always my thing. If you really do it, I want to see you do it. And he does do it. So to me, I like, no, Jamiroquai, all right now. He's one of the ones.
We didn't talk about Tyler.
Tyler, the Creator.
Who's like, what's like working with him? Because he's a little crazy in an amazing way.
He's not crazy.
He's crazy in a good way.
He's very convicted. I think he's convicted. I think he's spirit-led, and I think he's uncompromising, and I love that about him.
Yeah.
We did a record. He called me to sing a little bit on Garden Shed.
Yeah.
And that was a sweet moment. He was like, I was like maybe 37, 36, and he was like, my mom listens to your music, and I was like, oh God, is this aging me?
Right.
How old? What is happening?
I don't want to hear that.
And then I was like, wait, no, that's not bad, because I had people in their 20s who were like, Shine's my favorite record. And I was like, you were 6, when this came out. But this is why we do music, for everybody in every time and every space. I'm not mad. But his genius is that he's open.
Yes.
And he won't stop trying some shit.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's what you want to go into studio with or work with in any capacity for me. Like, I don't enjoy working with people who are just stuck in, this is all I can do, and sing on my beats because I'm the best at doing just this. I'm like, oh, cool.
Tell me about your new album.
I'm so happy. I cannot wait to put this out.
Yay.
I started making it in 2018.
What's it called?
Can't tell you that yet.
You're not telling me yet.
I know. I have to finish it first. No, it's finished, but I have to like wrap it up.
Is there a name?
Yeah, there is.
Okay, but you're not telling it.
Not yet.
But you finished recording.
I have finished recording it. The first song, OI, is out right now.
Right.
But the whole album came from, again, a rebirth, like 38, 37, reconfiguring everything. Like realizing that I like to smoke weed. It's not terrible. The world's not going to crumble.
Indica or sativa?
A hybrid.
Okay.
I like a keep me up hybrid. You know,
What,
nothing crazy.
you smoke joints or you?
I smoke joints. Well, not joints. I smoke like pre-rolls. I don't really like
rolling?
Yeah, I don't like rolling. I don't like doing all the manual labor.
You get high all day?
Huh?
You get high all day?
No.
Just at night?
Depends. It's very subjective for me, but I like to smoke weed when I have nothing to do and I want to be in the audience. I just want to observe and be around the things. And it's not because social anxiety, because I do have a little bit of that sometimes. I'm realized I'm an ambivert. You figured out all these, like, I was just coasting through life, raw dogging it, and then everyone was just like, no, there's a name, a label, a space for how you move through the world, by the way. And I'm just like, so 38, okay. It's 38 years, okay, cool. But I was introduced to the term ambivert when I started doing Steven Universe. I played a character called Garnet. And one of the guys at one of the cons was like, an ambivert is when you're good, you're up and you're social, and then that just shuts down on you and you have to go be in a room and everyone leave me the fuck alone and I have nothing more to give. I need to recharge.
I noticed that pattern in myself after the panini.
Yep.
Before that, I maybe I didn't notice it, but it didn't seem like anything. I could go to a party and then another party, whatever. But this is like, okay, after being around a lot of people for a while, I don't have a time limit, but after that ends, then I very much want to be alone for a period of time and like recover from having been so super social.
And it's not the standard like everyone needs to recover like you do. But you'll notice it with people, and sometimes you get called antisocial or like, she's a weirdo, or and I'm just like, no, I'm just an ambivert.
Well, I think there's more awareness now that we have social batteries. They are different lengths. You can run out where you're like, I like you, but I need to be alone. I've been out and about for an hour or two or whatever it is, and like, I need to go be, and like, it's fine. It's not, it's not rude. It's like.
And I learned to like create those boundaries with myself and with people. Like I don't allow it to just run anymore. Like if I'm done, I'm done. I love you. I have to leave now.
Yeah.
And I will hug you and Irish goodbye. I'll be gone. My friends know this about me. This has to be another term for Irish goodbye. I feel like I'm being offensive when I say that.
But I know, right? But this album.
Yeah.
How are you as a singer different?
Oh God.
Well,
the realization that I sound how I sound and I can do, and knowing it, so when I'm singing, it's different things with my voice now. And also the intent and where it's coming from for me, this is joy. This just comes from joy. Like I found the light and the spark and refound the moments that make me feel like, it remind me why I started doing this. Remind me why I decided one day I was going to say, I'm going to do this for real. It's like recapturing those moments or going back to it and reigniting it and like lifting it up even higher in myself, in my body, if that makes sense. And now everything I do comes from that. Like it's not even me. I literally will go into a session and pray and be like, what we got to say today, God? And I don't judge whatever comes out of my mouth or melody, lyric-wise, none of it. I just let it flow. And then I leave it in the hands of the producer. And Keith Harris, I mentioned him before in other interviews, but he was open. Like he was very much like, in the same way Tyler is just very much like, let's see, let's experiment, let's try, Keith Harris is like that. I will walk in and be like, I heard this melody. And I was jamming to this the other day, and I want something that feel like this. And, and he'll come up with a melody on piano, and I'll be like, speed it up. And I'll sing along to it, put the vocal down, put the lyrics down, sing away, run the track from top to bottom, run it again, run it again, run it again. Stack this session for me. Stack that part for me. All right, see you later, bye. And I'm gone. Like 4-hour sessions. And he was just so free and open to that way of working, where I've done other sessions, and prior to this, it was just like, oh, this is long. This is taking forever, and this is too much talk from the producer or the writers or whoever else is in the room, and I don't relate to none of it, but you force yourself through it, when you don't realize that you are the power, you are the thing.
This producer made it better for you to work hard, to
try and be, you know. It's one thing to have a record like American Boy and it be as big as it was whatever. And the expectations that now you need to maintain that, or that now you need to have 500 people need to come in and make sure that you can have that same thing. I'd never met you 500 people before, but it's a on repeat that can dampen your energy towards creating and being an artist, you know? And it works for some people. It just didn't quite work for me. So I had to pull it all back.
So this is the best working experience you've had, and you're like,
and I believe my best work.
Voice and like,
I believe it's subjective. Best work is subjective, but the most fun I've had, the most joy I've had, and I think you can hear it in the records. Yeah,
beautiful.
I can hear it. I feel it. I danced to it.
Beautiful. And what you described also was the writing process, but I want to hear you talk more about how you write.
Yeah. With ease. I know. But that's the perfect with ease.
What? What do you mean?
It really isn't hard. I have a bunch of things that I want to say based on a bunch of things that I believe, but also I have a bunch of things that I honestly can say I pray about it, and like it's channeling to a degree. I think every writer knows what I mean when I say channeling. You write, you know, like the things that come and then you put it out. Sometimes you think about it, sometimes it's just like, where did that come from? Like, right? I don't stop to think about where it came from. I know where it came from and I'm grateful for it. Thank you, God. And I don't judge it and I just let it go. And that to me is where it, you know, is how it goes. I don't think I do anything traditional anymore per se, more than just go in and just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I usually ask people who come on the show what being Black means to them.
Yeah.
And I don't usually have a lot of Brits on the show.
Yeah.
And, you know, for Americans, you know, it's always wrapped up in slavery and the legacy of slavery and thinking back to the ancestors. But you guys don't have the same connection to that experience, right? You're African, you are British, you have oppression for sure. But you don't have direct connection to the African-American slavery.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what being Black means to you, that you are liberated from that experience that we are tied to.
You know what's weird? What's a strange? I live in between worlds. Yeah. Baseline story is my mom and my dad emigrated, met each other, had kids.
Grenada, Senegal,
right? Sierra Leone, Senegal. Had kids and had us. So I've known where I'm from.
9 kids.
Yeah, 9.
That's
different dads, two dads. My mom was married to my stepdad, then got back with my real dad. That was on my last album, Lovers Rock. But yeah, so their story was varied. But I have to look at this. What? What? I said that wrong? Oh, you have no. Okay, my bad.
God.
Say it again. So they got married, they had kids, they met each other and they met each other, they got married, they had kids, they split up, they got back together.
Wow.
My mom got married in between that. My dad had other kids in between that, 2 other girls in between that. 9 total, right?
You have 8 siblings across 3 parents?
2 parents. Well, yeah, mom, dad, and stepdad. Yeah,
right.
3, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Stepdad. Right.
But I look at their individual stories, and that's where the connection. I say I live between 2 worlds because there's a lot of similarity. When I think about, there's no average. Everybody's Black American experience is wildly different. Your Black American experience is different to my manager's. Is different too. But there are similarities where it's like, yeah, there was a lot of can I curse?
Of course.
There's a lot of fuck shit and oppression and racism in the UK too. My grandma, my granddad came, and my grandma recently passed, and listening to her story from what we found out and what we knew and hearing from all the people, it's the same thing. It was, my granddad was a Black man in the 50s and 60s in London, definitely got beat up every day by random white people who just decided that they were coming to take the jobs. Same shit, different country. So I walk with all of that too. But coming here, sorry, 1 second. But my grandma was super resilient. You know, she was she pushed through in a way that I'm literally her wildest dream, right? So coming here to the US and living by myself, no crazy, and she was, you know, they were in a very volatile relationship themselves. Coming here and like having no person being me, you know, I didn't have any kids, like living my wildest dreams, my stuff, doing what I want to do. There are a lot of people who have the same, you know, that can draw the same things that they are their ancestors' wildest dreams. And so I look at it like maybe it's not the same exact blueprint of a response, you know what I mean? A blueprint of history, but we are all have had to go through the same things in different continents in different ways. And it's just frustrating to watch. It's frustrating and annoying and just wild to watch us all beef about that, you know? Racism, colonialism did a job. It did its big one, you know, on a lot of us. And I live in between the two. There's people that don't even know that I'm not from the US. And there's people that don't know that I live in LA. And there's people that still think I live in London just off of walking up to me and assuming. There's people that, when I lived in Brooklyn, were like, assumed I was a young Black American woman or Black American girl and would give me energy because they just believe what they believed off of just looking at me. And, you know, so to me, I think my statement stands, same shit, different currency, you know?
For sure.
1 second.
Part-
I'm like, wait a minute. Can you pass my dab? I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
My granny passed in May. I'm still like...
Oh, it's still new. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No. I brought it up. I'm just like, I always want to talk about her memory. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I always talk about her memory and I think about that.
No. Yeah, no, he's slapping the air and I'm like, is he saying cut? Like, there's enough of these questions.
No, thank you.
No, it's cool.
But it's real.
Part of the thing that we have as African Americans is we don't have a direct connection to Africa.
Yeah.
And the lack of a connection to another place is very painful. And like, we know we're from Africa, but can you trace it? Well, no.
Right.
And you have this direct, vibrant connection to Africa.
When you go, and I'll say this, I love having actual roots to say, boom, I'm from there. Yeah. Doesn't make it any easier when you go there and see what colonization has done. Still. Like, there's reasons why our parents moved, you know? There's real reasons why we emigrated to other places that we thought were about money, or whether we were running from a specific type of way of living. Like, there were reasons why our family members moved. Knowing, I say in one of my first records, 1980, I touched Africa and came back harder. Knowing myself and feeling my roots a little bit harder. Came back darker, knowing myself and feeling my roots a little bit harder. But that was speaking to that sense of self, right? Like, I know myself, I'm good. And then hearing the stories, I'm like, whoa, you know? We still made incredible things out of our life, and I exist again. I'm my granny's wildest dream, but where she was coming from, while there was a rich sense of beauty and joy and history and like, oh, I'm from this place on the planet. There was still a lot going on that was like, you know, we look at it now and we'd be like, this is 1960s anywhere in the world when she moved. And she, you know, she was born in 1930s, the world. Couldn't vote, couldn't have a bank account. And this is the world, guys. This isn't like, you know, like this isn't. So there were some of those things that still, per colonization, made their way to Africa. So while it's great to know, it's great to have that root connection, we were still living a certain version of life, you know? So there's more in common. I would say there's more in common than we think. I don't think it's a dividing point. I think it's like, you should go. You should go visit. You should go see and touch that red soil, touch the land, and where you can, if you can, buy some land out there and have a place to be.
Oh, forget about it.
Have a place to be.
It meant so much to me to go to Senegal and Ghana and to see, you know, what it was like. And I definitely had people say, well, Touré is a last name. It's not a first name.
Yep.
Freaking idiot.
That's okay.
Definitely had people say, call me white, basically to my face.
Wow.
Or behind my back, but like right next to me. But because I learned, in this culture, this is a word for a white man.
Oyinbo.
Because it would be in Senegal or wherever, different places, different words, and I learned what all of them were because I would get called all of them. And I remember I was in a really rural area. Somebody from one of the cities had taken me like way out. Because like everyone living in huts, no electricity and stuff, and they were very cool.
Senegal?
In Senegal, yeah, but like way out.
And close to Guinea.
And I remember this little boy was with 3 moms, and he was like, "Oh, white man," in his language, and I said, "No, I'm black like you," and the women laughed so hard. It was like I was Chris Rock. It was the funniest thing they ever heard. Like, oh,
it's this is the thing. I keep saying it like. Colonization has done a number in just division. And it's hurtful to see it. Like, I get in my bag about it. From colorism to like even going to Africa and knowing that the way you dress or the way people are going to look at you crazy, even if you belong there and this is where I'm from, people are still going to have it. But also, someone from Africa can come over here and we do the same thing. Versus just like, oh, brother, or hey, you don't know the city, I'll show you. Like, we find our ways to find division instead of trying to find, again, this is years and years of genetically continue, like, they press it on us genetically, division instead of come together. Hey, you don't know something I know? Let me show you, Or I don't know something you know? Show me, Just acceptance. I'm into that world of it all,
What's next?
This album comes out. In the winter. I've been saying in the winter because I'm one of those artists. It'll come when it's ready, but it's almost there. Yeah. The first song, Oh Why, is here. We have another song coming very, very soon.
What's that?
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. This album for me is my girl. This is mine. Every album has been for a reason. The first album was coming from London. I had to make my family and everybody proud. Shine was I'm going to go do this in America. True, All of Me was, dear God, I'm holding on for dear life to everything I knew. They're taking all of me. God, they're taking all of me. There's so much going on in that era. True Romance, still in the air. Just like, okay, now I'm just floating. Lovers Rock was like back to grounding. My parents, that was like a tribute to my parents and what they went through in their whole life. And this one, built over the past 6 years, including the Panini, is about me. It's mine. It's my version of how I move. This is my life. These are my choices. This is how I see the world. This is what I would like for the world to have from me. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was lovely.
You made me cry.
I know. Oh my God.
I thought I was good. Thank you so much.
Hey, if you like what you saw today, be sure to check out more Touré Show content right here. Don't forget to click that subscribe button for more Touré Show content every week.